Here I have a couple of handlers rendering some pages using this custom render function, to which we pass in the response writer, the path of the page we want to render, and any data we might want to use in the template. Inside the render function, we parse the page path, to which we also add this main layout HTML file. If we get an error, we return a 500 response. Otherwise, we continue by creating a buffer and try executing the template on it with the data we passed in. Again, if we get an error, we return a 500 response. Otherwise, we continue by writing the contents of the buffer to the response. Now, the problem is, every time we render a page, our application must go and read the template files from disk. So let's speed this up by implementing a template cache so we only load the files once. The first thing I'm going to do is create a new file called template.go, which will be under the same package main. And then I will add a new type called template cache, which will essentially be a map where the key will be string and the values will be pointers to template.template. Then we'll create a new function called new template cache, which will return a template cache and an error. We'll initialize a cache variable using make template cache, and then we'll need to essentially parse all the page files and fill in our cache. In order to do so, we'll need all the paths to our pages. We'll do pages equals file path and then glob, to which we need to pass a pattern that will only match the page files from the UI HTML directory. So we'll do .UI HTML star and then .page HTML. Then, if we have an error, we'll return nil and the error. Otherwise, we'll continue by looping through the pages. We'll do for_page equals range pages. We'll try to load the template, parse files, pass it the page, and then just as before, if we have an error, we'll return nil and the error. Otherwise, we'll continue by adding any layout files we might have to our template. So we'll do t_error equals t parse glob, and we'll pass it the pattern matching the layout files. So we'll do UI/HTML/star.layout.html. And just as before, if we have an error, return nil and the error. So we've parsed the page, we've added any layouts we might have. What we need to do next is get the page name. So we'll do name equals file path base, and this will give us the file name. And then we'll do cache of name equals t. And finally return cache no. So we make a cache, we get all the page file paths, we loop through them, we create a template from that page, we then add to that template any layouts we might have, and then finally we get the page name, add the template to the cache, and return the whole thing. Let's go ahead and use this bad boy. I'll go inside main.go. In the main function, we'll do template cache error equals new template cache. And then if we have an error, this is really bad, so we'll do log fatal of error. Otherwise, we need to continue and figure out a way to pass the template cache to our render function. The easiest way is to add another parameter. Here we'll do template cache of type template cache. And now we won't be passing the full path, we'll be passing the page name. Then here, instead of parsing the files, we'll check the template cache map. We'll do t_ok equals template cache of name. And then here we'll have if not okay, then return the error. And now this needs to be colon equals. Let's go back to our handlers, and we only need to pass in the page name. Nil is the data we are passing, and then we need to pass the template cache. Let's try it out. I'll restart, go in the browser, refresh. This is my home page, about, and contact. Now, I don't really like how we've passed the template cache as a parameter. I mean, it's fine, but there's another way we can do it, and that is by using a dependency container. I'll go ahead and create a new type called app, which will be a struct with a template cache. So we'll have template cache of type template cache. Inside our main function, we'll create a new app. with our template cache. And then we'll attach the render function to the app. We'll do app, and then here we can do app template cache and pass it the name. And of course, that means we can get rid of the template cache parameter. We can remove this, and then here we'll have app.render. Now you could say, hey, you just moved this from here to here, so what's the big difference? Well, the big difference is that in the future, we'll be able to add other things to our container, a database connection pool, for example. And that will also be available through the app. So we're essentially grouping the dependencies within a single struct, reducing the number of parameters we need to pass. Anyway, I will probably make a video on this topic in the future, so make sure you subscribe and hit that goddamn bell button. Bye!